Good morning. It's 6:03. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL and KEEL app. Erin's got local news, and it is up next.
The medical skirmish in our community. You got me? Lovely. There I am. Much better. The medical skirmish in our community, it's heating up in a big way. More violence in Shreveport. We'll tell you more about that. And lots of good deeds done on Maggie Lee for Good Day.
Let's see. We had the World Series last night. We've got Alabama week for LSU this week. We've got a million things, too numerous to mention here.
Purple and gold every day this week, boys.
And in fact, at some point this morning, you will have to flex your managerial muscles and make a major programming decision. I can tell already that's going to go well.
See, Matt got punched over the weekend.
Fletcher and sports, traffic, and weather all coming up this hour, and it's here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Lawsuit papers show backdoor bullying between healthcare heavyweights. Matt Parker has our update.
A trove of previously sealed documents have been released from the antitrust lawsuit between BRF and Willis Knighton. The documents and depositions released seem to show Willis Knighton meddling with BRF's attempts to partner up with Ochsner Health and Christus Health. One email from LSU Executive Vice President Frank Opelka, the LSU President F. King Alexander, says Willis Knighton would like to, quote, accelerate the demise of BRF. Another email chain from the governor's office alludes to Governor John Bell Edwards and other members of the administration wanting WK to take over charity hospitals in the state. More documents are scheduled to be unsealed next week. From 1017 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Violence in Shreveport. A man found shot to death on Portland Avenue. Police say the man had multiple gunshot wounds. The victim's name will not be released until police contact the next of kin. Now, meantime, police investigating a shooting in the Sunset Acres neighborhood. Two men were parked in their driveway on Hillcrest when several suspects fired off numerous rounds at their car. Both victims suffered multiple gunshot wounds. One man died at the scene. The other suffered a serious wound but is expected to survive. Prison reform measures go into effect Wednesday when some 1,400 non-violent offenders will be released as part of the change to the sentencing laws. It's an effort led by Governor Edwards to lower the state's incarceration rate. State Corrections Secretary Jimmy LeBlanc says most of these prisoners set free this week were nearing their release.
We'd be fooling ourselves to think another 60 days in a parish jail is going to prevent them from doing something different with them when they get out, especially if their intentions are to do something different.
The reform measure is expected to save more than $260 million. Two brothers have died in a house fire on Stonewall Street. According to fire officials, the single-story wood frame home was completely engulfed in flames when they got there. During the battle, emergency crews had to evacuate from the home when the roof collapsed. Halloween, a time for celebration, but State Fire Marshal Butch Browning reminds you some costumes and decorations are highly flammable. He says costumes should have a fire-retardant coating so they don't easily burn. He also says nearly half of all home fires during Halloween are the result of decorations too close to a heat source.
The holiday weekend of Halloween and into Halloween night, a lot of cooking is going on. So we would caution people, if you are cooking in your kitchen, you want to supervise that, not have children in the kitchen, have smoke alarms working in your home.
It's sign-up season for the Affordable Care Act, but the Trump administration is not making it easy, cutting the enrollment period in half, slashing advertising, and dialing back on navigators who help the consumers. The Saints are on a 5-game winning streak after beating the Bears 20-12. Will Lutz kicked 2 field goals, and running backs Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara each had rushing TDs. But Ingram also fumbled twice in the fourth quarter, which almost led to a come-from-behind win for the Bears.
I felt like we played a good game, and we had a chance to ice it. And, I let a lot of my teammates down. That's whack. That's weak of me. Terrible. But I'm going to bounce back. I'm going to work my butt off, and I'm going to bounce back and try and make it up to my teammates, make it up to my coaches.
Drew Brees threw for 299 yards. Oh, what a game. The Astros with a thrilling Game 5, 13-12 win over the Dodgers. Alex Bregman, the former LSU Tiger, with a walk-off game-winning single in the 10th.
I was so happy just to help this team win.
The Astros are up 3-2. Game 6 is tomorrow in Los Angeles. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 6, 1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for traffic. Oh, Monday. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Hang on. Getting set up here. Could be a long day. 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app's a free download presented by Office Furniture Source. You pick. What do you want to do first?
We got to talk about the World Series last night because people are waking up that didn't watch the ending.
Just got a text. See, here's the problem. I just got a text from my brother Hal. I am missing the greatest World Series of all time. Well, I got to
tell you. It was such a game.
Yeah.
OMG.
Okay, we can discuss the overall greatness compared to other World Series. Personally, I don't think the 75 Cincinnati and the Red Sox was a bad bunch of games. The Mets and the Red Sox, the Bill Buckner thing turned out to be a rather interesting bunch of games. But this year, let's take it for what it is. An awesome bunch of baseball games that are ending when nobody's watching.
I know, it's so sad. The game went 5 hours plus, I think. It beat the record of a 9-inning World Series game. The record was 4 minutes and 19
4
seconds.
hours and 19 seconds.
4 hours and 19 seconds. 4 hours and 19 minutes.
Imagine,
this one went 4:21, and they were still in the ninth.
Imagine the National Football League starting their World Series at a time of day when it will be over after midnight. We're going to start the Super Bowl at 9 p.m. Why? For no other because we don't want anybody to watch the end.
Well, what was game one? It was 2.5 hours. They don't know that. Remember, game one was like...
Virtually every baseball game played in 21st century America is a 3.5 to 4 hour game.
I would disagree with that.
So you started it at 7. There's nothing wrong with that. 4 hours makes it 11.
Except...
That's okay.
Except there are generations and generations of young people who will never see a World Series game. I mean, it starts at 7. Little kids go to bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night. They're missing. This has been the criticism of baseball forever, or at least in recent times.
You put it on in the afternoon on a Sunday, and people are going to have to choose between their NFL teams.
And you know what they'll choose? Baseball gets beat.
Baseball gets beat.
There's a reason it's on at 7 o'clock at night.
Because there's only one NFL game on at night.
It's prime time entertainment. There's no doubt about that.
You bet.
But understand that the target audience for prime time entertainment is not the family. Not really. You know that game is not going to end until after 10 o'clock at night, most likely closer to 11. Last night, after midnight.
Some parents would let their kids stay up till 11 at night on a school night to watch the end of the game.
You're right. But you're making my point. Some parents, there was a time, and I've told you this before, and it's a time that is long gone by, when baseball ruled the roost, and that's no longer the case.
No, baseball doesn't.
So what I'm saying is you are having a series of classic games that for whatever reason, lots and lots of people aren't watching. Like my brother, who says, I'm not staying up till after midnight to watch this. I'm going to bed. 10-year-old kids. I got school in the morning. Off to bed, little Erin.
It's a different world, though, because I didn't watch it at midnight. I watched it this morning. People can watch it whenever they want. So you have kids that might get up at 6 this morning and go, I want to watch the end of the game. And they're watching it on their mom and dad's DVR. Which
not arguing that.
It's a different world than when we were little.
Yep. And
they can watch it when they want.
Yep.
And mom and dad can say, we've got it. We'll watch it in the morning. We'll wake you up an hour early.
Which totally, then why not play it in a stadium without people and release it in 90-minute segments on weeknights?
That's ridiculous.
Find out who wins tomorrow night at 9.
No.
Do it like it was a TV series.
No, you want the crowd there. Having a crowd at a baseball game is 90% of the fun.
I got news for you.
To see the sign, crushing on Bregman. I thought that was so cute.
TV doesn't care, doesn't give a lick, a whit, a skosh, an iota about a crowd being there.
The baseball players do, and those are the important people to me.
But it's the networks who make the decisions.
But I want to see fans in the stadium.
Look, I'm not arguing it was an awesome game. I'm just saying that baseball is a backseat sport, and that saddens me.
It's
a second-tier sport. There's one big sport in America. There's the NFL. Then there's the NBA, which is just sort of a 1 and 1A
I don't even call it 1A.
Yeah, but the media has decided, the hip, cool, left-leaning, yo, bro, media has decided that the NBA is always going to be just behind the NFL.
That saddens me.
And they're trying to bring down the NFL with the CTE and a whole bunch of other things, and you know which way I lean on that. I actually, I don't want to get into it.
It was a great game. If you missed it, Alex Bregman in the bottom of the 10th.
LSU guy.
Yep, hit a single to knock in the winning run. The Astros are now up 3-2. Game 6 is tomorrow in Los Angeles.
Yep, travel day.
It's done in Houston.
And tomorrow, Verlander's on the mound, who's been completely blowing people out of the water all postseason.
God, it was a game. It was a duel. It was like two gladiators coming into the stadium, and you could feel like, oh, this is monstrosity.
And they're starting at, what time is it on our time?
Probably 7.
I think first pitch 7:08.
So you could miss it again.
No, I'll watch it, but I'll probably watch it tomorrow morning. I mean, the next morning.
People who want to watch baseball are going to watch baseball.
Except little kids. 18 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. What are we going to talk about next?
We got to talk about Bama. We got to talk about BRF. And we have another thing blowing up that we want to talk about that we need to talk about off the air first, and then we'll see if we can talk about it.
No, you decide. You're the program director. You decide.
I'll decide.
You make the rules.
Okay.
But when I said we have something later this morning that you have to make a programming decision.
I've made the decision.
No. What I was talking about is not that.
Oh.
Remember a couple of weeks ago when we had that moment and we had people turn off their radios because I said something a little iffy? And I said, wait a second. In the future, we'll just go ahead and say it on the video stream.
Yeah.
And on the digital feed.
Okay.
And then you'll have but on the terrestrial, that is FCC run, that is FCC under the aegis, the auspices of the Federal Communications Commission.
Right.
We'll have 7 seconds to hit the dump button if you, the programmer, think it's in poor taste. If it's in poor taste on the feeder, it doesn't matter. They can't find us.
Right.
They can't find us. They don't run that show.
Yeah.
This is going to be a cluster.
It's going to be an awesome. And you are going to help her make the decision.
I'm confused.
And you have to make it in 7 seconds.
Oh, Lord.
19 past 6. Here comes Ruben. Here comes traffic, and it's on Keel.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Twenty-one past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Ooh, lots of sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Astros were down to the Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series, 3-zip before they even had a chance to swing the lumber. After rallying to tie the game eventually, 4-4 in the fourth with a Yuli Gurriel 3-run bomb, the homestanding crew fell behind 7-4 on a Cody Bellinger 3-run blast in the top of the fifth. Fear not, Astros fans. Jose Altuve knotted the game at 7 on his own 3-run moonshot, but Bellinger tripled a run home in the top of the seventh to give the Dodgers an 8-7 lead in the home half of the inning. George Springer's solo home run tied the game. Altuve doubled in a go-ahead run and was chased home on Carlos Correa's homer to leave Houston in front 11-8. Brian McCann's solo homer in the eighth gave the Astros a 12-9 lead, but the Dodgers forced extra innings with a 3-run ninth. Holy smokes! In the bottom of the 10th, With pinch runner Derek Fisher on second base, former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman delivered a walk-off RBI single to give the Astros a wild 13-12 win and a 3-2 series lead with Game 6 Tuesday night in Dodger Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys knocked off Washington in miserable conditions Sunday, 33-19. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns after fumbling on his first carry of the game in what could be his final game until December if his 6-game suspension is held up in a hearing today. Hutton's Dak Prescott completed a 14 of 23 passes for 143 yards without a turnover. And the Saints overcame 2 fourth-quarter Mark Ingram fumbles to hold off Chicago 20-12 in the Dome for their 5th straight win. Ingram and Alvin Kamara each reached pay dirt for the Saints, and Drew Brees threw for 299 yards. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
That's an absolute.
Okay, that was pretty funny. 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright, Erin McCarty, 24 past 6 o'clock. They just, I don't know if it was a commercial or what it was, but it was Kevin James and Leah Remini are on TV together doing something.
I'm obsessed with
They
her
got a new
reality
show.
show.
Is that what it is?
Her reality show is attacking Scientology.
Yeah. And Matt just said, he said, I've got one rule when it comes to women. I said, what? He said, I don't date Scientologists.
She's out.
This is true. There's everything else is negotiable, but that is an absolute no Scientologist.
And I said,
she bailed out, so she's
she's
free of it.
maybe, yeah, but whatever would attract one. Have you ever seen the Tom Cruise videos?
Oh yeah.
I've
seen it all.
Have you seen the Tom Cruise Scientology videos?
Yes.
Are those the creepiest things you've ever seen?
Very creepy.
Scientology is just creepy in general, man. Hey, we're going to send you all on a cruise ship. You're going to pay for it, and we're going to test you to make sure you follow our path.
Let's hook these things up to your arms, and let's. Oh man, it's a freaky. I don't even call it a religion.
A
It's
cult. A
Yeah.
cult based on
$1 billion cult.
a cult based on
Sci-fi novels.
sci-fi novels. Totally serious. L. Ron Hubbard was
I'm so glad y'all brought this up. How did it ever get IRS tax exemption? What idiot up there was smoking crack when they signed off on that?
Because you can get IRS tax exemption as long as you're not Republican. As long as you're not a conservative group, you can get an IRS tax exemption.
No, they fought for it for years and years and years, and finally got it a few years ago.
As far as Matt is concerned, I think maybe you need a second rule.
Well, there's other rules, but everything else is negotiable. It's just, if you're a Scientologist or were ever a Scientologist, you're out. I don't care how good you look or how much money you make. If you were ever involved with Scientology, I'm sorry.
If you were ever involved, even a previous Scientologist.
Like Leah Remini, she's decent looking. She makes a good bit of money.
Decent looking.
But there's
previous Scientologist. She's out.
If you had the mental makeup at any point in your life where, you know what, Scientology seems like a good idea, I'm out.
Well, your
I'm just
parents
done.
might have dragged you into it. You may not have been the one that made the decision.
If you were drinking the Kool-Aid for any amount of time,
Ooh, don't
I
say
am
drinking
out.
the Kool-Aid.
Boy.
27 past 6 o'clock. We'll go to break in just a couple of seconds. So what are we going to talk about next? You notice I've said that every time. So
I don't know. I want to hear your story.
What are we going to talk
You
about?
got a secret surprise one I want to hear about.
I'll do that at 7 o'clock.
By the way, I didn't win the Powerball this weekend either, so same numbers.
You gonna cry again?
Not yet. It's not big enough.
I've had so many people look at that and look at me and go, is that real?
It can't be real. I know. I know. My son even said, "Is that serious? Are you serious, Mom?" Yeah. Yeah, I apologize for that. If you haven't seen it, it's at keelnews.com. That was embarrassing. Can we take that down now? It's run its course. Can we take it down and de-Google it?
It's not.
Can you de-Google that?
No.
No, once it's out there, it's sort of out there.
Oh, man.
I'm
It's
not
kind of
sure
like
what
naked pictures, isn't it?
This is way worse.
This is way
Yeah.
worse.
It's far
Well,
worse.
they're on an even plane, I would say.
So what are we going to talk about next?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I want to talk about Alabama. I think it's going to be a game. Wait, did I just say that? Did I just say that? I think it might be a game.
Yeah, the woman that cried when she lost the Powerball says Alabama could get knocked off this week.
And I said earlier we're not going to win another SEC game, didn't I?
You said that a long time ago.
And you wanted everyone on the staff fired, but,
I think it might be a game. I don't know what else.
Make your case. You've got 30 seconds. Make your case.
For LSU, Alabama. LSU is on an upswing. Alabama has been struggling.
What?
Alabama has been.
They've only been winning by 30 points. They're struggling.
They're having tough starts.
Their last game was 41-9, and they didn't play their starters in the second half.
I know, but they're starting sluggish. They get Texas A&M gave them a run.
What? It was 41-9.
No, one of them. Somebody gave them a run.
No,
somebody did. I saw it this weekend.
No.
Yeah, somebody gave them a run.
Yeah. Well, there was one game that was like 14 to 21 points, but I don't know if that is considered giving them a run.
Maybe I can't make my case. Maybe it's not going to be a game. We can hope.
Honestly,
I got my purple underwear on today.
All right, hold on.
Honestly,
I'm going to wear it all week.
I said this weekend to somebody, I said, LSU may surprise you this weekend. So the fact that I'm letting you...
And no, it's not the same pair of underwear.
The fact that I'm letting you squirm out on that island alone doesn't mean that I don't think you might have a point.
Okay.
By the way, here's the scores for Alabama this year. They beat Fresno State 41-10.
Skip the teams. Just give me the scores.
All right. 41-23, 59-0, 66-3. Here's the close one, 27-19. 41-9 and 45-7.
The close one was A&M?
The close one was Texas A&M, yes.
Yeah. That was a good game. They gave them a run. We could give them a run. Give me that.
I'm not arguing that at all.
We could give them a run.
I'm not arguing that
We're
at all.
improving.
Where's the game?
Tuscaloosa.
You just don't realize that we're making fun of you because you wanted everyone fired 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you were ready.
It's about 4 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry.
You were basically the Spanish Inquisition guy.
I know.
And you were coating people with pitch, and you were coming at them with torches. 629, it's 101 Torquemada. Thank you. 629, it's 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Erin has local news up next. Then I don't know what we'll talk about. Right now, traffic update. Here's Ruben.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
A pile of previously sealed documents released from the antitrust lawsuit between BRF and Willis Knighton. The documents and depositions seem to show Willis Knighton meddling with BRF's attempts to partner up with Ochsner Health and Christus Health. One email from LSU Executive VP Frank Opelka to LSU's president says Willis Knighton would like to, quote, accelerate the demise of BRF. Another email chain from the governor's office alludes to Governor John Bel Edwards and other members of the administration wanting Willis Knighton to take over charity hospitals in the state. More documents are scheduled to be unsealed next week. Prison reform measures go into effect Wednesday when some 1,400 nonviolent offenders will be released as a result of changes to the state's sentencing laws. Caddo Sheriff Steve Prater was critical of the reform effort. Prater said he learned of one man that was arrested 52 times under 34 different names who would be released this week. Corrections Secretary Jimmy LeBlanc says Prater was using bad information, and the sheriff has realized his error.
He said some things I don't think was intended the way he said it. There are a lot of people out there using these cases that don't have anything to do with justice reform.
The criminal justice reform expected to save the state more than $260 million. Police investigating a couple of violent cases, a shooting on Sunset Acres. Two men were parked in their driveway on Hillcrest when multiple suspects fired off several rounds at their car. Both victims suffered gunshot wounds. One man died at the scene, the other still in the hospital. Meantime, a body is found in Shreveport. Matt Parker has that.
The body of a black male has been found shot to death in the 1700 block of Portland Avenue. Police say the man had multiple gunshot wounds to various portions of his body. The victim's name will not be released until police contact the victim's next of kin. If you have any information on the shooting, call Crime Stoppers at 673-7373. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Two brothers have died in a house fire on Stonewall Street. The single-story wood-framed home was completely engulfed when firefighters arrived. Now, during their battle, emergency crews had to evacuate from the home when the roof collapsed. Halloween is a time for celebration, but State Fire Marshal Butch Browning reminds you some costumes and decorations are highly flammable. According to the U.S. Fire Administration, there are more than 10,000 fires in America each year in the days leading up to and following Halloween. Browning says when cooking outside, make sure to keep grills and fire pits away from your home and wooden deck.
But it's the same general safety, but you know what happens is we get so busy with the holidays, we forget about the basic safety practices and messages.
More trick-or-treat information is on our website at KEELnews.com. The Saints are on a 5-game winning streak after beating the Bears 20-12. New Orleans did a lot of things well. The defense gave up just one touchdown. Quarterback Drew Brees encouraging that the Saints are winning games even though they have yet to play their best football.
And we've had our share of success in our return unit, so we're going to have to make some plays. Field position will obviously be a huge part of this game because I think you give either one of these offenses a short field, and you kind of flirt them with dynamite.
Dallas Cowboys were also winners yesterday. President Donald Trump has expressed renewed frustration over the investigations into alleged ties between his campaign associates and Russian government officials. Trump's tweets follow a CNN report that a federal grand jury in Washington has approved the first charges in a criminal investigation into Russian ties. The AP has not confirmed that report. The Astros with a thrilling Game 5 win in the World Series last night. Alex Bregman, the former LSU Tiger, hit the walk-off RBI single in the 10th inning to put Houston in the driver's seat.
I remember we went down 4-0 early. Me, Altuve, Correa, Yuli were standing behind the mound, and we said, hey, our backs are against the wall right here. Why not have fun and play loose?
Game 6 tomorrow in Los Angeles. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
And I feel like we've got good momentum here, but it's still very much focused on how do we get better each and every week, and how do we continue to strive to put together that game where it does all come together.
Good morning, 638. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. In the 7 o'clock hour, probably. What are we going to talk about next? Because we'll go to break here in a second. What are we going to talk about next? You got anything?
We got to talk about the BRF deal. Because that was a mess.
The Kevin Spacey thing is interesting to me because he is being accused by an actor who is now of age, in fact, in his, late 20s or so.
Probably older than that.
If Kevin Spacey says, well, it's rather involved. What's the kid's name? Rapp is his last name, R-A-P-P.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And he's an actor. And he is claiming that when he was 14, Kevin Spacey, look, if you're a grown-up, and you're with a 14-year-old boy, and you make what some would term sexual advances, I call that attempted rape.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Kevin Spacey, look, if you're with someone who is underage, and you make what would be if it were someone, if you do with what would be an adult, make a sexual advance with someone who is underage, that's attempted rape.
Right.
Okay? So, despite what you'll see about Kevin Spacey's unwanted sexual advances, if in fact they happened, it's attempted rape, in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Spacey says he doesn't remember, but if it happened, then he sends his sincerest apologies.
I didn't see that.
So
this is a very interesting story. I got the whole thing up, and I'm just reading through.
Tell you what, Erin doesn't know this. She hasn't heard this. We'll talk about it when we get back.
Okay.
And maybe a couple other things. 639, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update coming up right now. Here's Ruben. He's on Keel.
Everything's still running nice and smooth for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near North Market due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
.101.7 FM and 710 Keel, plus the Keel app, free download, presented by Office Furniture Source. Robert and Erin, 642. Okay, the Kevin Spacey story is, now that you got to admit, Hollywood's a pretty gross, awful place.
Mm-hmm. Lots of horrible things have been happening there. And still happen there. It's a sleaze bag of people. People are there for me and me alone. And that saddens me.
And the people who seem to have a degree of decency are the ones who are made fun of, eschewed, isolated, and eventually run out of the business.
They move away, yeah. Mm-hmm. They go live in Utah.
How bad do you want to be a star? What are you willing to do? How bad do you want to be a star? Yeah. Okay, the Kevin Spacey. Don't get now. This I went, oh, man, because I really like Kevin Spacey. One of the saddest showbiz days of my life, and I'm being totally serious, was when his Bobby Darin homage, what was the name of that movie? Beyond the Sea, was awful. A, I love Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
B, Kevin Spacey is one of my favorites. But this, well, here, you've got the story in front of you.
All right. Anthony Rapp told BuzzFeed News. He's an actor. You might remember him from Road Trip. I think that's the one big movie. But this allegedly happened.
He's about, what, 40 years old?
44, 45, somewhere in there. Rapp told BuzzFeed News that in 1986, Spacey, a fellow Broadway actor at the time, invited Rapp to his apartment for a party.
How old was Rapp then?
14 years old.
14. Okay, first of all, and I don't mean this as the excuse it's going to sound. Where's his mom and dad?
Yeah.
Come to Uncle Kevin's room. What? But anyway, please continue.
Later in the evening, Spacey, then 26, allegedly, quote, picked Rapp up, placed him on his bed, climbed on top of him, making a sexual advance, according to the report. Spacey, early Monday, tweeted that he does not remember the alleged encounter.
Listen to this now.
Saying it would have happened over 30 years ago. Now, here's Spacey's quote from Twitter.
Yeah, well, there's something else, too. As I said in the previous segment, if you are an adult and you make a, quote, sexual advance as someone underage, that's rape. That's not a sexual advance.
Right.
Okay? I mean, that's just... Look, I'm 65. I can guarantee you I have never made a sexual advance on a 14-year-old girl.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So I'm thinking, if Kevin Spacey doesn't remember this, how do you not... unless you do it all the time.
Exactly.
But
unless it's routine for you.
Now he's falling back on is this the alcohol? I was imbued with alcohol.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit interesting.
Creepier.
I have a lot of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. I'm beyond horrified to hear this story.
Wait a second. It was you.
Hold on.
Hold on a second. That's like Kevin Spacey finding out he almost raped a 14-year-old boy. He's horrified at the story. You go ahead.
I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave then, as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior. That's the thing. I don't remember it, but if I did it, I was drunk.
If a man tries to rape a woman and he's drunk, is that a defense?
No.
If a man commits if you commit a crime and you're drunk, if I shoot somebody and I'm drunk.
No.
If I run over somebody with my car, but I'm drunk.
People use that excuse in court. They try.
Well,
I was impaired.
Not in the car sense.
It's just you don't this ain't the first time. This ain't his first rodeo, and I can't. That's a poor choice of words.
Really bad.
But good God, man. You're a creep. How many more people are going to come forward now? That's what worries me. How many more guys are going to say, yep, Kevin Spacey did it to me?
14 years old.
That's a child.
Yes. And then you're...
See, what I don't get is
your defense is, well, I was drinking.
Yeah.
I was drinking. I apologize.
If someone had done that to one of my 14-year-old boys when they were younger, I would probably, and I say this, a lot of people say this, but I really do believe I would be in trouble because I would have taken action on my own. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but I would have been so enraged.
If you had a couple of drinks first, they might have let you off.
Oh, man, it's so sad. It's so sad. Golly, there's a bunch of creeps. A bunch of creeps live in Hollywood. Yeah, you're a star, whatever. You make millions per movie. So you get to do this? Is that it's okay? Oh, I forgot. I don't remember.
I was drinking.
I don't remember. If I had ever molested a boy, it's never happened, I would remember it. I would know it happened. God,
so you think he's
drunk or not?
You think he's lying? Well, it's more than 30. His excuse is, I was drinking, and it was more than 30 years ago.
Oh, man. No, he's lying. He's lying. His lips are moving.
He's lying.
648, it's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. What are we going to talk about next?
I've got it. I'm ready.
You'll notice that I've said this almost at the end of every segment.
I'm trying to be delicate.
And at the beginning. Well, look, we've got a short segment coming up. That's not enough time.
That's not enough time.
So
I'm working on it. I'm getting ready to publish it.
You, in addition to being my morning show partner, are also the program manager for Keel Radio. As we call them in the Town Square Empire, brand manager.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay? And at times you have to make difficult decisions. So get ready to make one. Tweet or get off the branch.
I'm tweeting.
As my Nani used to say. 649, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's traffic.
It is once again the best time of day to get from A to B because everything is all clear for your early morning drive to work or school. But look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Uri Drive and East Kings Highway due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. We are 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KeelNews.com.
It's 8 before 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Astros were down to the Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series, 3-zip before they even had a chance to swing the lumber. After rallying to tie the game, eventually 4-4 in the fourth with a Yuli Gurriel 3-run bomb, the homestanding crew fell behind 7-4 on a Cody Bellinger 3-run blast in the top of the fifth. Fear not, Astros fans. Jose Altuve knotted the game at 7 on his own 3-run moonshot, but Bellinger tripled a run home in the top of the seventh to give the Dodgers an 8-7 lead in the home half of the inning. George Springer's solo home run tied the game. Altuve doubled in a go-ahead run and was chased home on Carlos Correa's homer to leave Houston in front 11-8. Brian McCann's solo homer in the eighth gave the Astros a 12-9 lead, but the Dodgers forced extra innings with a 3-run ninth. Holy smokes! In the bottom of the 10th, with pinch runner Derek Fisher on second base, former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman delivered a walk-off RBI single to give the Astros a wild 13-12 win and a 3-2 series lead with Game 6 Tuesday night in Dodger Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys knocked off Washington in miserable conditions Sunday, 33-19. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns after fumbling on his first carry of the game in what could be his final game until December if his 6-game suspension is held up in a hearing today. Houghton's Dak Prescott completed a 14 of 23 passes for 143 yards without a turnover. And the Saints overcame 2 fourth-quarter Mark Ingram fumbles to hold off Chicago 20-12 in the Dome for their 5th straight win. Ingram and Alvin Kamara each reached pay dirt for the Saints, and Drew Brees threw for 299 yards. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
It is 6:55, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. God, there is so much to do today. I heard some music this weekend that I had not heard in a while. And I said to Matt off the air, I don't know if you heard me say it. I said, off the top of your head, don't say anything out loud. Don't say what you think, just think what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if I said I heard the most misogynistic, woman-hating song lyrics this weekend, and Matt said, oh, you were listening to hip-hop. And I said, no, no. And he said, oh, you were listening to country. I said, no. Wait until you hear the songs, specifically the one band that I am going to cite numerous instances of total woman-hating misogyny and violence against the opposite sex. You're going to be stunned. And it ain't hip-hop, and it ain't country, and did I mention you'll be stunned? 656, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Erin has news in a couple of seconds. Traffic and weather updates on the way right now. Rush on Keel.
Last week, inside the Capitol, as President Trump was walking to meet with Senate Republicans, a protester emerged from a group of reporters in a secure area. He shouted treason, started throwing Russian flags at Trump. The fringe kook protester has now been identified as Ryan Clayton. He's a liberal activist from a known anti-Trump group. Clayton, as it turns out, was on a Capitol watch list. Now, a source told Fox News that Clayton used a 4-day-old press pass to a very sensitive area of the Capitol where the House Intelligence Committee is housed. In January, this guy was one of 3 protesters who disrupted the House as they tabulated the Electoral College votes. In July, Clayton caused a commotion in the Capitol when Jared Kushner was visiting. The day he threw the flags at the president, Clayton had been denied access to the building, but still found his way back in. Now, the Capitol Police Board's conducting an internal investigation to figure out how this guy, already on a watch list, got into the press area without credentials and got as close to the president as he did. Now, this is a deranged Trump hater. He could have thrown something a lot more harmful than Russian flags at the president. Maybe it's time to connect the dots and throw the book at this guy and figure out which Democrat is letting him in there. Business travel is a game of wins and losses. An open seat next to you on your flight, you win. A reclining seat in front of you, you lose. Buying your business trip at Upside.com, that is a triple win. You see, Upside has the absolute best available prices for flights, hotel, and rental cars. That's win number one. Win number two is how Upside rewards you with a gift card to sites like Amazon every time you buy a business trip. And the third win is the amazing 6-star treatment you get from Upside's Navigators, their customer service specialists. Navigators are instantly accessible 24/7 on the Upside app. And right now, you go to Upside.com and use the code USA to get a free pair of Bose SoundLink wireless headphones when you book your first trip. That's code USA for a free pair of Bose SoundLink wireless headphones. Upside, you deserve a better business trip. Minimum purchase required. See site for complete details.
Just about 6:59 traffic update right now, just ahead of Fox News. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays at the intersection of Shed Road and Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast, sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 7 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, and the KEEL app. Miss Erin, local news in just a second or two.
Prison reform measures kick in on Wednesday. We'll tell you more about that. It's Halloween time. We'll have a few tips. And yesterday was Maggie Lee for Good Day. Good deeds done all over town.
What are we going to talk about in the first segment?
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got
You keep
it.
saying that, and then we just don't get to it.
I got it.
Erin McCarty, program manager, not Erin McCarty, radio personality, not Erin McCarty, sobbing lottery loser, but Erin McCarty, program manager. She puts on a brand new hat. Well, it's been her hat for a while, but she's going to
and
have
it itches today.
Going to have to make an executive decision in just moments.
Oh boy.
Plus Fletcher in sports, plus traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report. Now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Prison reform measures go into effect Wednesday when some 1,400 non-violent offenders will be released as a result of changes to our sentencing laws. Corrections Secretary Jimmy LeBlanc says lowering the incarceration rate is estimated to save the state $262 million over 10 years. Most of the savings will go towards rehabilitation programs.
To upgrade for medical, for mental health, for substance abuse treatment, those kinds of things that make a big difference in these guys.
It's an effort led by the governor to lower our state's incarceration rate, which is considered the highest in the world. Halloween, a time for celebration, but State Fire Marshal Butch Browning reminds you some costumes and decorations are highly flammable. He says fire around Halloween results in about 25 deaths and more than 100 injuries. He says jack-o'-lanterns, paper spiders, and dried corn stalks are very common decorations, but are highly flammable.
If you have a wall space, you wouldn't want decorations to consume more than 20% of that wall space. So if they were to catch on fire, then, of course, the fire could be controlled.
Get more Halloween tips at KEELnews.com. A trove of previously sealed documents has been released from the antitrust lawsuit between BRF and Willis-Knighton. The documents and depositions released seem to show Willis-Knighton meddling with BRF's attempts to partner up with Ochsner and Christus. One email from LSU's executive VP Frank Opelka to LSU President F. King Alexander says Willis-Knighton would like to, quote, accelerate the demise of BRF. Another email chain from the governor's office alludes to Governor John Bel Edwards and other members of the administration wanting Willis-Knighton to take over charity hospitals in the state. More documents are set to be unsealed next week. Violence in our community. One man found shot to death on Portland Avenue. Police say he had multiple gunshot wounds to various parts of his body. Another shooting leaves one dead, another clinging to life. Matt Parker has that one.
Shreveport police are investigating a shooting in the Sunset Acres neighborhood. According to investigators, two men were parked in their driveway in the 2900 block of Hillcrest Avenue when multiple suspects fired off numerous rounds at their car. Both victims suffered multiple gunshot wounds in the incident. One man died at the scene from his wounds. The other suffered serious injury but is expected to survive. At this time, the suspects are still at large. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
Two brothers have died in a house fire on Stonewall Street. According to fire officials, the single-story wood-framed home was completely engulfed when they got there. During that battle, emergency crews had to evacuate from the home when the roof collapsed. The Saints on a 5-game winning streak after beating the Bears 20-12. QB Drew Brees says they have to keep their foot on the gas because they have lofty goals to accomplish.
Our goal was not that after 7 games. I mean, it's our goals are much loftier. We expect a lot more out of ourselves. And bottom line is, I think we just know there are so many areas where we can improve and need to improve, because as the season goes along, the opponents continue to get tougher and the games become more meaningful, and so we've got to stay very focused on that.
The Saints are now 5-2 and host 2-5 Tampa Bay this Sunday. New Orleans in first place in the NFC South, a half game ahead of Carolina. It was a big night for the Houston Astros. They win in 10 innings on an Alex Bregman single, driving in the winning run. The Astros now up 3-2 over L.A. The series moves to L.A. for tomorrow night. 2 women from Hawaii who were adrift on their sailboat for months say they once got within 700 nautical miles of Oahu, but couldn't get their storm-damaged boat home. A U.S. Navy ship picked them up after they were found by a fishing boat and brought them to an American base in Okinawa in southern Japan. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Nine past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL and the KEEL app. And traffic update for Monday morning, Ruben.
The intersection at North Market and North Hearn Avenues dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And those school zone lights are on and the school buses are out. Please use caution when driving around the school zones. If you have anything to report to us, accidents, hazards, or closures, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Twelve after 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. The KEEL app's a free download from Office Furniture Source. So, what do you want to talk about this segment?
I'm ready.
What?
I'm ready. I'm still working on the post, but I've got it just about ready. So
what post are we talking about?
It's another social media What'd you say?
The
a buzz.
social media is a buzz.
Yeah.
Twitter is a flutter.
It's over what some say is a politically incorrect Halloween costume.
In what sense?
And it happen. Well, this happens every year. Somebody wears something that offends somebody else, and people go crazy. This costume was worn by a local guy, and it's a making fun of Colin Kaepernick costume. And the front of the jersey has Kaepernick's name spelled a little differently. You use your imagination.
It's hard enough to spell correctly.
The costume is pretty elaborate, though. Visualize this. It comes with the jersey with a soldier on your back. You have a soldier kind of strapped to your back.
Not like a real guy, like a
fake, like a dummy.
Okay.
And then the legs the costume, the other part of the costume is a pair of legs.
Right.
Okay? So the legs go in front of your legs.
Gotcha.
The little soldier guy goes behind you with his arms wrapped around you. You put your legs in camo pants. So it looks like your legs go to the soldier. Okay, you following me?
Basically.
And then it looks like the fake legs that are in just a football pants look like your legs.
Are rather involved.
Yeah,
and
it's involved.
So what's
and then
politically...
you wear an afro wig to look like Colin Kaepernick.
What's politically incorrect about this?
Well, he got on stage at a couple of spots, at What's on Tap 2, and then at the Horseshoe costume contest, which there's $1,500 up for grabs. Right. I mean, it's a big contest. Yeah. And he won both contests. He sings the national anthem, and then when he tries to kneel, the little soldier in the back prevents him from kneeling. Whoa, don't you do that. Okay. And it makes him stand up. So the crowds go wild.
Yeah.
And
so what's the politically incorrect part? Is it the
people
afro?
were claiming that he had on blackface. It started with blackface. Then they started saying he had on bronzer, and he's a white guy. He's a white guy. Then they said he had on bronzer. Horseshoe published a picture, quickly took it down, and then Horseshoe issued a statement.
We have statements, I think, from both.
Both, absolutely. I wasn't going to do this unless I had statements from both.
Gotcha.
So here's Horseshoe's statement.
Okay. So the rumors
were that Horseshoe let a guy on stage with blackface, which wouldn't have happened. That wouldn't have happened. They would not have allowed him to enter the contest. But the pictures that were published were, because of lighting, I don't know, it made the guy's face look darker than it was. Some will claim he had on a bronzer or some sort of makeup. I'm not sure. I didn't witness it. So I have reached out to him to ask him to come on the air with us this morning, and possibly he will. I don't know. We're waiting on that now.
So the Horseshoe statement says,
in response to comments we have received concerning the Monster Ball costume contest, the winner of the contest was awarded his prize based on the popular votes of the guests in attendance and not by our property staff. Since that time, photos have been altered which misrepresent the contest winner as appearing in blackface, which he was not. As a company that embraces inclusion, we apologize to all those who are offended.
So Horseshoe is saying, I wasn't in blackface.
He wasn't in blackface.
Had an afro, have a great big, like Sly and the Family Stone.
It's a Colin Kaepernick wig.
And a fake goatee and stuff.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And a 49ers jersey.
Right.
Okay, and Horseshoe's statement says, read the quote again about not in blackface.
Yeah, since that time, photos have been altered which misrepresent the contest winner as appearing in blackface, which he was not.
So any photo, according to Horseshoe, any photo you see in which it appears that this guy, we'll mention his name in a second, was in bronzer or blackface or some sort of skin color altering makeup, Horseshoe is saying that is not the case.
That's not the case.
Okay, so you reach, what is this fellow's name?
This fellow's name is James Bubba Pendarvis, and he's a Bossier guy, and he says, quote, and I have reached out to him to get him to come on and explain the costume, why it was important to wear it. He says, quote, in my defense, I stand for the flag. I don't like protesters. My outfit was my First Amendment right. It was a costume for Halloween, showing my distaste for a man that clearly hates America. I used to watch the NFL, but never again. I believe in standing up for the anthem. In return, Kaepernick got this outfit from me. If it offends anyone other than Kaepernick himself, so be it.
So he doesn't say anything about whether or not he was in blackface. He doesn't say, no, I wasn't. He doesn't address that at all.
His best friend who was with him that night,
yes,
at both venues, says he was not wearing blackface. There was no blackface
so
on his
witnesses
face.
say no, Horseshoe says no.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There was one witness who, let me quote this witness.
Hope this was worth $1,500 there, buddy.
Yeah, he won both contests.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of beers.
Witnesses at the Horseshoe event say, quote, he sang the national anthem and everyone stood up. Not only was it great, but hilarious as well. Oh, and he was not wearing blackface. His costume was such that if he tried to kneel down, the soldier on his back would prevent such a despicable gesture.
19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update. How's about right now? Here's Ruben, and he's on Keel.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Greenwood Road near Hearn Avenue, and we have some traffic delays at the intersection of Shed Road and Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have any accidents, hazards, or closures to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Sunny and pleasant with a high of 77 today. Tonight will be clear early. We'll have patchy clouds later, low 46. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm meteorologist Heather Zaire.
Twenty-one past 7 o'clock, Keel Sports. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. The Astros were down to the Dodgers in Game 5 of the World Series. 3-zip before they even had a chance to swing the lumber. After rallying to tie the game eventually, 4-4 in the fourth with a Yuli Gurriel 3-run bomb, the homestanding crew fell behind 7-4 on a Cody Bellinger 3-run blast in the top of the fifth. Fear not, Astros fans. Jose Altuve knotted the game at 7 on his own 3-run moonshot, but Bellinger tripled a run home in the top of the seventh to give the Dodgers an 8-7 lead in the home half of the inning. George Springer's solo home run tied the game. Altuve doubled in a go-ahead run and was chased home on Carlos Correa's homer to leave Houston in front 11-8. Brian McCann's solo homer in the eighth gave the Astros a 12-9 lead, but the Dodgers forced extra innings with a 3-run ninth. Holy smokes! In the bottom of the 10th, with pinch runner Derek Fisher on second base, former LSU Tiger Alex Bregman delivered a walk-off RBI single to give the Astros a wild 13-12 win and a 3-2 series lead with Game 6 Tuesday night in Dodger Stadium. The Dallas Cowboys knocked off Washington in miserable conditions Sunday, 33-19. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns after fumbling on his first carry of the game in what could be his final game until December if his 6-game suspension is held up in a hearing today. Houghton's Dak Prescott completed a 14 of 23 passes for 143 yards without a turnover. And the Saints overcame 2 fourth-quarter Mark Ingram fumbles to hold off Chicago 20-12 in the Dome for their 5th straight win. Ingram and Alvin Kamara each reached pay dirt for the Saints, and Drew Brees threw for 299 yards. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.